Alright, welcome everybody. It's William Jamming. Welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, we are making a 2D llama game that can split our enemy, and we automatically made this game can initialize and instantiate all the coyotes, and I draw this, by the way. I draw this boss coyote based on the AI generated, just to quickly give you guys a feeling of this image setup. And so what I'm going to do in this video is to actually set up a health system. So say if you were accidentally hit by these coyotes and you lose a certain amount of health, and we got to give the player a little bit of leeway, because you can't just one hit and you die, or you can just scroll, just to throw in the enemy and you're okay. That's two scenarios that we don't want. So what I'm trying to do in this video is to actually let's add colliders to it. So what I'm going to do is to add, since we already get the prefab ready, so I can go to inside this llama prefab, and we got this player, and we can add this rigid body to the player. And I'm thinking about a rigid body 2D, because it's 2D, and since we're going to control this collision, instead of using dynamic, if you are using dynamic, you're using the game engine's collision, say gravity or something like that. But if you want using script to control it, you'd better just change the body type to kinematic, so you can add code to it. And it's simulated at discrete, yes. If you want the 100% continuous collision detection, you can use continuous. But right now discrete is also fine. We don't want to add too much pressure to the computational unit. And you can just leave it here. So this is just one thing. The second thing, of course, will be a collider that can actually collide things. So collider, and we got box collider 2D, capsule collider 2D, and I think capsule collider will serve us right. So I think I'm going to double click it. We can edit this, right? So we got the capsule collider, and I can edit this collider. Right now it's definitely too small, so I'm going to stretch this a bit. Okay, so I think mainly the collision will happen at the front, so I'm going to make it like the front, the rear end of this llama. Let's just leave it blank, so we can the rigid body also is a rigid, so we don't need to edit that. And I like not to be crowd controlled by all these different coyote, so I'm going to set it to trigger. Okay, so and let's go back. I think I got another prefab of enemy coyote, enemy 0 and enemy 0 B means boss. I'm going to add collider 2D as well, capsule collider 2D, as well as a rigid body 2D. Okay, so I can grab it, kinematic, so I can control it and make it here. And capsule collider, we can edit it, of course. Right now it's a little bit too small. Let me stretch that a little bit. Since it's a capsule, can I just make it like this? Okay, but I think that's definitely too big of a collider. Let me make it smaller, like this, but rotate that a little bit. Sorry, I can't rotate this one. Brown offset size Yep. So let's just do like a horizontal. Just completely change it a little bit. Yeah, and I think I can change the offset to a little bit front. Okay, but not too much, and make it yeah. So maybe decrease a little bit, so it decreased the difficulty level, so the head will not have a collider to it. Maybe up a little bit. Yeah. So, and of course you can add trigger to it. Okay, so basically you're going to do the same with all the enemy that you want to generate: rigid body and collider, capture collider 2D. And rigid body will have to be kinematic. Did I add that as kinematic? Yeah. And then this one definitely too small. Horizontal. Added that manually, and yeah, I think I'm going to make it smaller than this big boss, because in this game I like to decrease the difficulty level and actually encourage the player to be brave. Okay, you can add the design, specific design to it. So I like to encourage the player of the Lamax to be brave and get as close to the enemy as possible. So yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit offset, so the player can actually go here without actually losing house. That's a little bit about game design. You can make or you can encourage, or you can like the benefit the player. Like sending gift to player when they have a certain say the quality, right? Have a certain good quality in life. So for example, you want to encourage the user to be player to be brave. You can do that by changing the collider. Okay, so if the collider is and why the collider is here? That's really weird. Oh yeah, I changed this position. Sorry about that. Yeah, so after you have set that, you can add in script. So since we got our trigger ready, let's write a script of damage. And I think I'm going to create damage and house as well. So there will be a damage. Okay, damage. Did I spell that correct? Okay, so this is just a damage. And then I'm going to create a house. Alright, so it's compiling, so house. And still it's compiling, so yeah, sorry about that. My computer is a little bit slow, so I might stuck a little bit. So house as well as damage. Okay, so so basically the damage right now just need to be a getter that can get damage if you want to call it. So let's write a serialized field so we can actually change the damage amount. So serialized field and say damage will be. We don't need to be a flow because you don't want a really complex calculation going on, because the damage is really just say 1 or 2 would be really just really simple amounts. Let me just get 1 and using a getter, so when you need that number you can get a getter and return it. And let's go to our house, so we can to access that every time you trigger that script, then you are going to dealing with damage. And once you got this getter ready, you can just get our house has a model behavior. So this will be a logic. You don't need to check that every frame, but rather you are going to add a serialized field, and will be an integer as well. So house will be, say, 100, not just 10, because 10 will just 10 hit is done. And we got infinite loops, so the house amount need to be higher than that. And the things we got trigger, so we can say on trigger enter 2D, but it will just automatically generate it. We don't want that. So on trigger enter 2D collision with other damage dealer. Alright, and other game object gets the components of damage. Okay, and process heat. Okay, so we're going to process heat and passing in the damage dealer. First is the naming convention. I think they suggest is better called damage dealer, because a lot of people name that. So instead of using damage, I might as well change that to damage dealer. So that's for one thing, and the other is that we are going to process heat. We're going to add in process, but I haven't write that yet. So first, let's just change that name to conform with the suggestion, because if a lot of people are using that, maybe that's just convention to do that. So other people will have a better understanding of your code if a lot of people are using the same exact thing. Because I'm not so confident about my English, so I might got something wrong. So I might as well just using the native speakers damage dealer. Alright, and damage dealer get or damage dealer, just a getter here. So let's just change that a little bit. On trigger enter 2D. Okay, and we're not going to do that. So just avoid on trigger enter 2D. We got collision with other, and I think I got damage dealer as a damage dealer, and other game object get that. Okay, we got get damage dealer, and then if you can get that, if our damage dealer if our damage dealer is not new, it's a different language. If it's in Swift, it will be new, and then process hit. Yeah, so we're going to process this hit. Right now we haven't added that. And damage dealer, I think I can get that because I already write a getter. So get our specific damage dealer. We got the get damage. Okay. So I can get this damage amount, and we're going to process that, because when you get the damage, you will get just a return of damage, but we need to process that. So we're going to passing essentially int here. Right now I did not write this, so what I'm going to do is to add this process hit and int damage, and then you are deducting from our house. That's pretty good. And if the house is not less or equal than 0, we're going to destroy the game object attached to. That's pretty good, I think. That's pretty good. It's doing a pretty good job. And I think lacking the parentheses. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So we use this getter to get damage, and so if the house is less or equal than 0, you're going to destroy the object. So basically the player will be destroyed. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And don't forget, the damage dealer also needs to have some functionality. So once you are dealing with damage, never mind, I think I'm going to dealing with more complex house and damage dealer later. Right now I want to test it, okay, because it's already a pretty long video. I tend to make my video bite size. So what I'm going to do is to change the prefab. Okay, so we got house, we got damage dealer, and our enemy do have house, and our boss do have house. So I'm going to assign that both by selecting them, and I'm going to add components to game objects. Can I select more? So let's go to our player. So we got llama, and we got prefab, and I'm going to select it. So just sorry, just one. Yeah, let me just add this house because it's much easier house script. But we don't have a house damage dealer, so let's just yeah, stick with this. And enemies, we got 2 coyote, so enemy 2, select that, add the house as well as our damage to it. So damage. Okay, so yeah, let's play this to test that. We won't be able to actually yeah, I think the damage we need to adjust a little bit, because every time you hit that, you just lose 1 health, and that's definitely not enough. So what I'm going to do is to maybe just to change the player's health a little bit. So can I just change the health to say 20? Okay, and so let's hit our okay, yeah, as you guys can see, every time I hit this, I got a decreasing of health. Okay, 5-4. Yeah, maybe when I hit it, it will just die. 3-2-1. Yeah, so the player disappeared because it got destroyed. Okay, and yeah, and I think the it's a little bit imbalanced problem. So I'm going to change the default value. So damage will be much higher. So maybe just a 52 hits, it's gone, and health will be just 100. Yeah. So yeah, our player hits say twice will be killed, and let's test that again. Yeah, I got to run that. I'm gonna pause it a few seconds. Yeah, don't worry. I think it's already running. My computer's a little bit slow. So, moment of truth. And let's get our player. Yeah, still I don't think it got changed. Or maybe I need to refresh that. Sorry. Yeah, it's still dealing just 1 damage. That's not good. And they got yeah, 100. That's definitely not good. So yeah, you need to, I think we need to reset that a little bit in order to update it. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's I think that will be all, because you can just manually change that. It doesn't really matter that much because we already changed it. And once you change the damage and you update it, it will reflect it here. And of course, you can manually do that. Okay, so the boss will dealing 50 damage. This normal enemy will dealing 10 damage. So 2 hits from the boss, you'll be dead. And yeah, and once you're satisfied with it, then you can test it. Just save you guys a little bit of time, I'm not going to play it again. But yeah, we already got this health system working. And yeah, so yeah, I think in the next video I'm going to actually get this llama to spit things, like shooting from its mouth, so we can actually hit it to fight it back rather than to bump into enemy and die. Okay, so I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you at tomorrow's update. I'll update video every day. Okay, so bye.